Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the car boot crafter, and welcome back to Christmas in July series. So this time I'm making these little baubles, and I think I'm going to make a ton of them this year for the Christmas tree. I absolutely love these, and I can decorate them up, I can glitter them, all sorts of things. And using all sorts of paper and cards. I'm going to show you how to do them using some white cards so that I can draw on it so you can see where I'm doing the folds. But it's a really simple fold, and I've even done this in a 12 by 12 as a gift box. So they are a really versatile little fold, but these are going to hang on the Christmas tree like that this year. And I'm going to use the origami super stack, which I got from the works. I'll probably use those papers, but I'm going to use this, and this is card. So you can use, I mean, that's origami, you don't have to. You can use card or your cardstock, whatever comes to hand. So as always with an origami fold, I think the first thing we do is fold point to point. So now I'm going to grab my bone folder because that's going to help, particularly with the card. So score and crease, open that up. And the first thing we're doing is we're laying down some scores that help with the fold later on. So these lines are not going to be permanent folds. They help later on. So once you've done that, and do that with the pattern side down. So if I just do that, we know which is the pattern side. Let's pretend that's a pattern and this is the plain side. So pattern face down, fold point to point. Once you've done both points, so we've now got score mark there and a score mark there. So once we've done that, we flip it over to our pattern side and go edge to edge as well. So just line that up and crease that down, and then open that up, pattern side up, turn it to the other edge and go edge to edge again. This is such a versatile little fold, and you can do it whatever size you like. I've even done some really tiny ones using something like 4x4 papers. It works so well. So now we've got some extra folds. Let me draw them in so you can see those as well. Oops, ignore my wonky line. So we have that. Okay, so now what we want to do is, and I find it easier to have it on the diagonal like this, and usually because I won't have those lines in, I'll just sort of reinforce that line, because what I want to do is bring this point in. So I want this edge here to line up with our crease mark here, which is why I just sort of reinforce it a little bit so I can see it easier. So this edge, line it up with there, and try and get a nice sharp point at the top if you can. So just bring it across. Before you push anything down, just check that that's a nice sharp point at the top. Then bring your bone folder in and fold it down. And once you've done that, you're going to do the same on this side. Now I'm going to turn it because it's just easier for me. So I turn it this way and bring this side in like this. So I'm bringing that in, rolling it really carefully, bring it in. Now these should line up or thereabouts. I'm going to check that my point, that is a point, line that up, and then bring my bone folder in again and crease that down like that. So I've got that kite shape. Open it up. Now I'll draw these in for you. I'm going to use a pen actually so that it's not quite so busy. So that and that are the two lines that we've just done. So those two there. Okay. Once you've done that, turn it to the next point and do exactly the same. Bring it over, reinforce that score so you can see it easier. Bring this edge across to that score, and before you crease anything down, make sure that's a nice sharp point. It's not the end of the world if it's not, but it just looks better on your finished bauble or gift box or whatever you're going to use this fold for. Like I say, I've used it anything from a 12 by 12 all the way through to 4 by 4, and you could probably go smaller than that. Bring this one in, roll that over like that. So now we've got the pattern on that side that's facing up. So bring that over, join it up so that you've got that, so it's lined up with that crease mark, that point to point crease mark we did. Make sure that point's nice and sharp, and then use your bone folder to reinforce that, and that gives you 2 more score lines, exactly the same as the last ones. So I've drawn those in. So we've done that point, we've done that point, and now we need to work on this point. So you're going to do it 4 times in total, and this is a great, it's such a repetitive fold that you could do it. You know, I have done this in front of Corrie before now with a lap tray, and just made a few of them in one go, because once you've got the fold and the rhythm of the fold, then it's straightforward, and you can do all the folds and leave them and then come back and do the shaping it. So and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So make sure that's a nice sharp point. This card is probably a little bit too thick. Perhaps a bit of copy paper would have been easier for me to show you how to do it, but you can do it with card. So now I've done those 2. I'm just drawing those 2 in. So I've done those 2 lines, and it does go all the way to the edge. So I've done those 2. So I've just got this last one to do, and I can see those lines aren't there, so reinforce that, because you can see the lines go all the way to the point, and that's not happening here. So I need to do this. So reinforce that point to point one, and then bring this across. I'm being a bit rough with this card, but you can take your time. I generally do take my time when I'm doing this, but this I'm not gonna keep this. I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes, as they say, so that you can see where I'm folding. And then last one, so I'm bringing this point in and across all of those like that. And then the magic happens when you've got all your folds in place. And make sure that's nice and sharp at the top. Reinforce that fold like that. Open it out. So now you've got all these crisscrossing folds. So those are the 2 that I've just done. So they crisscross. So these 2, so that one there is and this one here are the only 2 that fold away from you. So what you want to do, what I find easiest, but you'll find your own way of doing it, is I just put my thumb on where those lines all meet on both sides, and as I do that, I'm pushing that down while bringing these 2 in, and that starts to form my points. So you can see them starting to form on those. Once I've got that, and that paper's happy to stay like that, I then do the same on this side. So I've turned it round, so I'm going to put my thumb where all them interlink, and I'm going to push this in. And the more I push, you can see those 4 points are starting to come up. Sometimes this wants to come up in the middle as well. So just push it down. You're not coming up. Push it down. And that then allows you to just gently bring all of those points up. So that starts to form the top of your gift box or bauble or whatever. So bring it up, hold it, and then check the bottom. Sometimes the bottom doesn't fold, doesn't play fair, and you have to just go in and push these down. So what you want is so these points, you can see there's 4 points there. These 4 points, that's a valley, that's a mountain. So we've got a mountain fold on all 4 of those points, and these ones in the middle, these should be your valleys, and you can really see that valley in there, and that's how that forms that shape. So where your point is, so there's my point, where all those lines meet, that's where the valley should be there. And that is your shape. That is the shape. And this is an 8x8 piece of card, so that's quite a nice size box, but a 12x12 makes a much bigger one. So I'm going to pop this to one side, and I've already folded this paper from the origami paper stack. So I'll show you how I finish it off. So I've got it, and I've already done my pushing in both sides. The middle wants to come up, so I'm pushing that back down, and I'm going to just bring all this. Now the thing with the origami paper is you have to be gentle with it, but you have to be tough at the same time, because sometimes the origami paper doesn't want to fold the way. You know how easy that felt? Well, this isn't folding very well at all. So I have to go back in and push inside to push that back. And a little bit of persuasion, and we have a better fold. Now, you can see it's sort of buckled a bit there. That's okay. As long as I'm not folding it too heavily, I can just put my finger in and push it back. And the same here, push that down, because we know where those valleys are and we know where those mountains are. So I've just pushed that all in. So I've now got my shape. So I'm going to pop that down for a second while I grab some of my, I think this is like a wool. I picked it up at a car boot sale. Of course I did, for a few bob. So I've just got a piece of that. I'm just going to put a knot in it like that. Whoops, that wasn't a knot, was it? I don't know what that was, but that wasn't a knot. So let's put a knot in that like that, and then I've got my glue at the ready. So I've got a loop there, and if you want, you can trim it or you can leave it. I generally do leave it unless it's very long. Get your glue, and what you want to do is hold this and put glue along all of these internal edges. So you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot at all. I find it best to put it sort of close to this fold here, because I find that sort of holds a bit better. But as I say, you don't need a ton of glue on this, especially if you're using the lightweight papers like I am. Maybe a bit more on something a bit heavyweight if you're using some cardstock or some of your 12x12 papers. Maybe you'll put a bit more glue there if you want, but it's not needed. I'm just going to put a little bit for fun. Okay, so once you've done that, if you are going to add a tassel, find one of your points and just put a bob of glue in one of your points, just a little bit like that, then get your bit of twine and lay it in, and just make sure that knot is pushed into the glue, or if you want you could lay it flat and put some double-sided tape in there to hold it, whatever's going to work for you. And once you've done that, just bring it together like that and hold it for a few seconds, enough time for the glue to grab, and then you have another bauble for your Christmas tree. So really simple, really fun little fold with so many uses as a little box, or as I mean, you could, if you did it in bigger paper and you wanted it to be a box, punch some holes in those 4 points and use some ribbon or some twine to knot it together. But these are destined for my Christmas tree. I know it's July, but I'm going to put them somewhere safe, and hopefully they will stand the test of time. But I might just grab some more of these and do the folds and put them safe with these, so that come Christmas all I need to do is attach my bit of string, wool, whatever, and push them into shape. Anyway, and then decorate them, of course, the best bit. Anyway, I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now. Oh, and happy Christmas in July. Take care. Bye.